There's more reaction to the story everyone's talking about. The CEO caught on kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, snuggling with his head of human resources.
What started as a simple night at a Coldplay concert has exploded into the most expensive workplace scandal in tech history. Andy Byron, the powerful CEO of a billion-dollar company, thought he was just enjoying a concert with his HR chief. But when that kiss cam rolled, everything changed forever. New details are now surfacing that reveal just how deep this scandal really goes.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The woman who shot that now infamous Coldplay kiss cam that caught two executives apparently cheating is speaking out to Inside Edition.
What secrets were hiding behind those premium seats? And how did a 10-second moment destroy decades of success? Let's dive into the shocking truth that's rocking Silicon Valley. The night that changed everything. July 16th, 2025 seemed like any other summer evening in Boston. Coldplay was performing at Gillette Stadium, and thousands of fans packed the venue for what they expected to be just another memorable concert experience. But hidden in the premium seats sat two people whose lives were about to be turned upside down in the most public way possible. Andy Byron wasn't just any concert goer that night. He was the CEO of Astronomer, a data company worth over $1 billion. Sitting beside him was Kristen Cabot, his company's chief people officer. Both were married, both were successful executives, and both were about to become the center of the biggest corporate scandal of the year. But what happened next would cost them everything they had worked for. The kiss cam is supposed to be fun. It's that lighthearted moment during concerts where couples get their 15 seconds of fame, sharing a sweet kiss for the crowd. But when the camera landed on Byron and Cabot, something felt very different. The footage showed Byron hugging Cabot from behind in what appeared to be an intimate embrace. The moment they realized they were on the big screen, their reaction was immediate and telling. Instead of laughing it off or waving to the crowd like most people would, they quickly separated and tried to hide. Chris Martin, Coldplay's lead singer, even commented on their odd behavior, suggesting they were either having an affair or were just very shy. The crowd laughed, but the damage was already done. Someone in the audience was recording, and within hours, that 10-second clip would be seen by millions. The video spread like wildfire across social media platforms. TikTok users began sharing it with captions like "CEO caught cheating" and "Corporate scandal unfolds live." The internet did what it does best. It turned two people's private moment into public entertainment. What no one knew was that this moment would trigger a chain reaction that would destroy careers, marriages, and millions of dollars. To understand why this scandal became so massive, you need to know exactly who these people were before their world came crashing down. This involved some of the most powerful and wealthy individuals in their industries. Andy Byron had built his career over decades in the tech world. As CEO of New York-based Astronomer, he was leading a company that had reached unicorn status with a valuation exceeding $1.3 billion. This was a major player in the data infrastructure space. Byron's personal wealth was estimated between $20 and $70 million. He owned a $1.4 million home in Massachusetts and maintained a luxury retreat in Maine. His annual salary as CEO likely exceeded $1 million, plus bonuses and stock options that could have made him even richer. He was living the American dream of tech success. But Byron's wealth was nothing compared to the fortune that Kristen Cabot had access to through marriage. Cabot wasn't just Astronomer's chief people officer, she was connected to one of the oldest and wealthiest families in American history. The Cabot family fortune would make this scandal about much more than just workplace misconduct. Old money meets new money scandal. Kristen Cabot's connection to wealth goes back centuries, not decades. She was married to Andrew Cabot, a member of the legendary Cabot family of Boston. When we talk about old American money, the Cabots represent the very top of that pyramid. The Cabot family fortune is estimated at $15.4 billion in 2025. This isn't tech money that appeared overnight or even industrial wealth built over a few generations. This is wealth that has been accumulating for over 250 years, starting with rum and shipping in the 1700s and expanding into chemicals and other industries. There's even a famous poem about the Cabot family's status in Boston society. And this is good old Boston, the home of the bean and the cod, where the Lowells talk only to Cabots and the Cabots talk only to God. This captures just how elite this family is in American high society. Andrew Cabot runs Private Ear Rum, a premium spirits company where bottles can sell for over $100. Their lifestyle reflected this generational wealth. They owned a stunning $2.2 million home in Rye, New Hampshire, purchased just months before the scandal broke. It was a 4-bedroom coastal property that screamed old money elegance. But all this wealth and status couldn't protect them from what was coming next. Within days of the video going viral, both Byron and Cabot were placed on leave pending an investigation. Astronomer, the billion-dollar company they helped lead, was in crisis mode. The board had to act fast to protect the company's reputation and valuation. For a company that had just achieved unicorn status, this kind of scandal was potentially devastating. Investors, employees, and customers were all watching to see how the leadership would handle the situation. The wrong move could cost the company millions in lost business and damage its ability to attract top talent. Andy Byron resigned as CEO on July 19th, just 3 days after the concert. The board accepted his resignation immediately and appointed co-founder Pete DeJoy as interim CEO. In the corporate world, this speed tells you everything about how serious the situation was. Byron's resignation wasn't just about stepping down from a job. He was walking away from one of the most lucrative positions in tech. His annual salary, bonuses, and stock options were worth millions. Industry experts estimated he potentially held up to 5% of Astronomer's equity, which could have been worth $65 million or more. But the financial consequences were just beginning. The personal cost would prove to be even more devastating. Marriage meltdown and million-dollar consequences. While Byron was losing his corporate empire, his personal life was falling apart just as publicly. His wife, Megan Kerrigan Byron, reacted swiftly to the scandal. She deleted her Facebook page after it was flooded with comments about the alleged affair. Reports indicated that Megan had left their $1.4 million family home in Massachusetts and moved to their property in Maine. This looked like the beginning of a very expensive divorce. Under Massachusetts law, marital assets are typically split 50-50 in divorce proceedings. With Byron's estimated net worth of $20 to $70 million, a divorce settlement could cost him up to $38 million. For most people, that's generational wealth. For Byron, it represented half of everything he had worked decades to build. The contrast between the spouses was striking. Megan worked as an educator at Bancroft School, focusing on students with learning differences. Her estimated net worth of $300,000 to $500,000 was a fraction of what she could receive in a divorce settlement. The scandal had the potential to instantly make her one of the wealthiest divorced women in America. But the financial devastation wasn't limited to divorce proceedings. Kristen Cabot resigned from her position on July 24th, following Byron's departure. Her resignation meant walking away from a salary that likely exceeded $600,000 annually, plus stock options that could have been worth millions as Astronomer continued to grow. But unlike Byron, Cabot had a financial safety net that most people could never imagine. Her connection to the Cabot family fortune meant that losing her job, while professionally embarrassing, wouldn't threaten her fundamental lifestyle or financial security. The scandal also spawned additional unverified allegations that added fuel to the fire. Reports claimed that Byron had spent $40,000 on explicit video calls with an OnlyFans creator, though these allegations remained unconfirmed. Whether true or not, these rumors added another layer of complexity to the already explosive situation. Astronomer was forced to actively combat misinformation, clarifying that various statements circulating online attributed to Byron were fake. The company found itself not just dealing with a leadership crisis, but also fighting false information spreading across social media. The speed at which misinformation spread highlighted one of the biggest challenges of the digital age. In just hours, fake apologies, false statements, and fabricated details were being shared as fact across platforms. The company had to dedicate resources to fact-checking and correcting false narratives while also trying to stabilize its leadership. Pete DeJoy, the interim CEO, tried to put a positive spin on the situation. He noted that while the attention was unusual and surreal, it had made Astronomer a household name. But having your company become famous for a workplace scandal isn't the kind of brand recognition most businesses want. The incident even inspired creative responses from the internet. A YouTuber created a video game called Coldplay Canoodlers, where players try to locate the couple in a pixel art crowd. The scandal had become so culturally significant that it was inspiring entertainment content. The personal and professional consequences were far from over. The human cost of public humiliation. Beyond the financial calculations and corporate statements, this scandal revealed the very human cost of living in the age of viral content. Two people's private moment had been dissected, analyzed, and judged by millions of strangers around the world. Byron appears to have deleted his LinkedIn profile, with the URL now leading to an error message. For a tech executive whose career was built on professional networking and industry connections, this digital disappearance spoke volumes about the personal toll the scandal had taken. Kristen Cabot also deleted her LinkedIn profile, effectively erasing her professional online presence. For someone whose career was in human resources, a field built on relationships and reputation, this was a particularly devastating blow. The families involved also paid a price. Photos emerged of Kristen outside her New Hampshire home, appearing somber while tending to plants, notably without her wedding ring. The image captured the personal anguish behind the public spectacle. But perhaps the most striking aspect of this story was how it revealed the limitations of wealth and power in the digital age. This scandal demonstrated that in our hyper-connected world, no amount of wealth can truly protect you from the consequences of a viral moment. The same digital infrastructure that enabled these fortunes to be built also became the mechanism through which private lives were exposed to unprecedented scrutiny. The Cabot family's $15.4 billion fortune, accumulated over centuries, couldn't prevent their family name from being dragged through social media mud. Byron's decades of building tech companies couldn't protect him from having his life dissected by internet strangers. The scandal also highlighted the different ways extreme wealth functions as a safety net. While Byron faced potentially catastrophic financial losses that could fundamentally alter his lifestyle, Cabot's connection to generational wealth provided a cushion that few people could access. The contrast revealed something important about how differently the ultra-wealthy experience crisis compared to even very wealthy people. Byron, despite his massive net worth, was facing genuinely life-changing financial consequences. Cabot, while certainly experiencing professional and personal turmoil, had access to resources that could cushion almost any blow. The scandal also revealed deeper issues about power dynamics in corporate America. This scandal highlighted uncomfortable truths about workplace relationships and power imbalances in corporate America. Byron wasn't just any employee having an affair. He was the CEO, the most powerful person in the company. Cabot was the chief people officer, responsible for managing human resources and workplace conduct. The power dynamic between a CEO and a chief people officer creates particularly complex ethical issues. The CPO is supposed to be the guardian of company culture and workplace standards. When that person becomes romantically involved with the CEO, it raises serious questions about conflicts of interest and potential abuse of power. Employment lawyers across the country began using this case as an example of why companies need stronger policies around executive relationships. Many firms started requiring disclosure of any romantic relationships between executives, especially those in the same reporting structure. The financial implications extended far beyond just the two executives involved. While the focus remained on Byron's potential $38 million divorce settlement and lost equity, the true financial cost of this scandal extended much further. Astronomer faced immediate operational challenges that would cost millions to address. The company had to conduct a comprehensive internal investigation, hiring external law firms and consultants. These investigations typically cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes reaching into the millions for complex cases involving senior executives. The reputational damage was harder to quantify, but potentially more costly. In the competitive tech industry, trust and credibility are crucial for attracting customers, partners, and investors. A scandal like this could affect the company's ability to close deals, retain customers, and attract top talent for years to come. Meanwhile, the personal toll on families continued to mount. The price of public humiliation. Beyond the financial calculations and corporate statements, this scandal revealed the very human cost of living in the age of viral content. Two people's private moment had been dissected, analyzed, and judged by millions of strangers around the world. While Byron and Cabot faced the most direct consequences, their families also paid a heavy price for decisions they had no part in making. Megan Kerrigan. Byron went from being the wife of a successful tech CEO to the center of a very public marital drama. Megan's background as an educator at Bancroft School made the contrast with her husband's corporate world even starker. She had dedicated her career to helping students with learning differences, working in an environment focused on nurturing and support. Suddenly, she found herself thrust into a world of corporate scandal, divorce lawyers, and financial negotiations. Andrew Cabot, Kristen's husband, faced his own unique challenges. As a member of one of Boston's most prominent families, he had to navigate not just personal betrayal, but also the potential damage to his family's centuries-old reputation. As of now, neither Byron nor Cabot has made any official public statements about the incident. The silence from both parties has only fueled more speculation and rumors. In the absence of official explanations, the internet has filled the void with theories, gossip, and fabricated content. The question of whether Byron and his wife will actually divorce remains unanswered. If they do, and if the settlement reaches the predicted $38 million, it would rank among the most expensive divorce settlements in recent corporate history. Similarly, the status of Cabot's marriage to Andrew Cabot remains unclear. Photos of her without her wedding ring suggest trouble, but no official statements have been made about their relationship status. The professional reputations of both executives will likely take years to recover, if they ever fully do. In the interconnected world of tech and corporate leadership, this kind of public scandal can follow someone for decades. But the story doesn't end with resignations and speculation. Months after the initial scandal broke, both Byron and Cabot remained largely silent about their experiences. This silence has only fueled more speculation and conspiracy theories. Byron's professional network has effectively disappeared from public view. His extensive LinkedIn connections, built over decades in the tech industry, are no longer accessible. Industry insiders report that Byron has been quietly reaching out to former colleagues and investors, presumably exploring options for his next career move. However, with such a high-profile scandal attached to his name, finding another CEO position at a major company would be extremely difficult. This scandal has prompted companies across industries to review and strengthen their policies around executive conduct and workplace relationships. Many firms have implemented mandatory disclosure requirements for any romantic relationships between employees at different levels of the corporate hierarchy. Law firms specializing in employment law report a surge in clients seeking advice on updating their codes of conduct and ethics policies. The Byron Cabot case has become a cautionary tale taught in business schools and corporate training programs. This scandal offers several important lessons about modern corporate life, digital privacy, and the intersection of wealth and public attention. First, it shows how quickly a private moment can become a public crisis in the age of social media. What happened at that Coldplay concert could have happened to anyone, but the consequences were amplified by the wealth and status of the people involved. It also demonstrates the limitations of traditional crisis management in the digital age. Companies can no longer control narratives the way they once could. Social media moves faster than corporate communications teams, and misinformation spreads just as quickly as facts. This reveals how wealth and power can both protect and expose individuals in unexpected ways. The Cabot family fortune provided financial security but couldn't prevent reputational damage. Byron's corporate success made him a bigger target for public attention and scrutiny. The kiss cam incident at that Coldplay concert lasted maybe 10 seconds, but it has provided a fascinating window into worlds of luxury, power, and the brutal consequences of viral fame. From Andy Byron's tech empire to the Cabot family's centuries-old fortune, this scandal has exposed how even the most wealthy and powerful people can see their lives destroyed in an instant. What do you think about how quickly this situation spiraled out of control, and should corporate leaders be held to different standards in their private lives? Share your thoughts in the comments below.